Happy 4th of July, Dolphins fans. And in the spirit of the holiday, I thought this would be a fun question to ask and start off our show. Obviously, we got the Nathan's hot dog eating contest today. No Joey Chestnut, kind of fraudulent if you ask me. But either way, spark this question. Which Dolphins player could eat the most hot dogs in 10 minutes, which is the competition? My answer, Patrick Paul. But let me know your thoughts down below. And we also got producer Smitty chiming in with an interesting answer.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a hot take. I'm going to go, he's not the biggest guy on the Dolphins roster, but I'm going to go with Tyreek Hill just due to the fact that he has a very unhealthy eating habit. I heard there's a rumor that he eats Wendy's before every game. That signals Chad Ochocinco vibes to me. So I'm going with Tyreek Hill as who can eat the most hot dogs in 10 minutes.
Smitty went Tyreek Hill. I'm going Patrick Paul, the new rookie for the Dolphins, because he is a big fella, 6'7", 340. But let me know yours down below, and let's get today's show started. Today's show is on Carl Lawson because Pro Football Network suggested that the Miami Dolphins should sign edge Carl Lawson. I am Nic Rohloff. This is Dolphins Today. Former New York Jet, also former Cincinnati Bengal, but this is an intriguing idea for Miami because they do have some injuries at their edge group already prior to training camp, and the Dolphins do have some of the most cap space in the NFL, $16.1 million to be exact. And I didn't expect it to be this much after signing Marcus May and Calais Campbell and the two rookies, but they have done very well in terms of Chris Grier, keeping flexibility to sign other guys, take back money in a trade, or possibly front-load extensions, which we'll talk about in the back half of today's video. But here is what Pro Football Network had to say on Carl Lawson, saying Jaelan Phillips' health will be key to the Miami Dolphins pass rush, but if he's not ready to go, a past AFC East rival can be ideal here. Carl Lawson produced 7 sacks in his first season with the New York Jets in 2022, but was limited to 6 games last year. He'd be a good insurance policy in the rush room. But that's really the question that we have to ask ourselves in terms of signing Carl Lawson or not signing Carl Lawson. The first answer, the question that needs to be answered is, do the Dolphins even need an edge? And then the second question would be, well, is Carl Lawson the guy to go out and sign? But let's answer this first question here together. Because the top 5 in the Dolphins edge group is maybe one of the best 5-man groups in the entire NFL. Jaelan Phillips and Bradley Chubb, when healthy, are amongst the top 3, top 5 edge rush duos in the NFL. But then you have depth in Shaquille Barrett, who you signed from Tampa Bay in free agency, who has been one of the best edges in the past decade as well. And then you drafted 2 rookies, pick 21 overall, Chop Robinson from Penn State, and then your 5th round pick, Mohamed Kamara, who I'm very bullish on and think can contribute in year 1. So you already have a loaded group here with 2 rookies that you'd like to develop as well and get them in the mix. But your top 3 is elite. And the only way that you can come to the conclusion that you need an edge is if these 2 are really slow in their rehab/recovery going into week 1 of the NFL season. More to talk about on Carl Lawson and the edge group, but let me know, do the Miami Dolphins need to sign an edge to add depth and insurance to this group before training camp? Type Y for yes or type N for no. Let's get to know Carl Lawson a bit more before we officially make the decision as a group if they should sign him or not. He was a 4th-round pick out of Auburn in 2017 from the Bengals made that selection. As mentioned, he did play for the Jets over the past couple seasons, and he was a very good player coming into the league. As a rookie, he made the all-rookie team in 2017. So he has had prior success in the NFL. In looking at the past 4 seasons from Carl Lawson, he played extremely well in the 2020 season, having 36 tackles and 5.5 sacks. Unfortunately, did rupture his Achilles in 2021, which can often be the kiss of death at times for veteran players. Hopefully, crossing our fingers, it's not the case for Jaelan Phillips, who's also working his way back from an Achilles tear. And in his first season back from that Achilles injury, you heard it earlier, he had 7 sacks in 2022 for the New York Jets. He was very effective at getting after the pass rusher, but due to injuries and lack of playing time, just wasn't able to really do anything this past season, only playing in 6 games played and only totaling 5 tackles. So we didn't have the most productive 2023, but he has had tons of production a couple of years ago and when he was a younger player. And if I'm going to be honest, and you're asking me if the Dolphins should sign Carl Lawson, my answer is kind of no. Like, I'm really not in the favor of signing an edge unless both Jaelan Phillips and Bradley Chubb are not ready to go week one. Chubb coming off the knee injury, Phillips coming off the torn Achilles. Like, there is question marks on if both of them are going to be ready to play week one against the Jags. I'll say this, and I'll double down on this take. If both of them are not going to be able to go, yes, I think you should sign someone experienced at least for the first couple weeks of the season. Because if you run into week one or week two with just Shaq Barrett, Chop Robinson, and Mo Kamara, you're not going to get after the pass rusher that well, even with Zach Sealer and Calais Campbell. If one of them is only not ready to go, then I'm much more okay with this because I trust one of them alongside Shaq Barrett as your two lead guys. Then you mix in Chop Robinson and Mo Kamara as your third and fourth edge rushers. So if one of them is good to go week one, I don't think the Dolphins need to sign an edge. If both of them are out, I will sign one. That's kind of where I stand on the matter. So Carl Lawson, kind of out unless both Chubbs and Phillips are not ready to go. But if the Miami Dolphins do sign another player, we will make a video. We make a video anytime the Dolphins make a move or have news that is worthy of making a show. So make sure you are subscribed because we have daily content here at Dolphins Today. Here is what I am in favor of doing if I was the Miami Dolphins. That's $16.1 million in cap space. I'm using it to sign Greg Van Roten, shocker, and also getting the extensions done for Jevon Holland and Tua Tagovailoa. We've consistently mentioned these three names as moves Miami would make, and I rank them in order of importance. I think number one is extending your quarterback Tua. No matter what you think of him, his market is only going to go up unless he plays in like 10 games next year because of injuries. There is no way this price point for Tua is going to stay the same or go down. So to me, get it done for 53, 54 mil. As long as he's not asking for more than 55, which is what Trevor Lawrence got on an annual average basis, I am extending Tua. Jevon Holland's also important. He's entering the final year of his deal. He is your lone young piece of the secondary of the future. You have to get that done because he is a top 5, top 6 safety in the NFL. And then assuming you get these two things done and you still have cap space left over, which you probably would, you have to sign Greg Van Roten, man. He is the best interior offensive lineman available in free agency without a doubt, and he would fill that right guard need for Miami and become your starting offensive guards. But let's talk about the benefits of the two extensions right here, because there are different ways that you could construct those extensions, and it gives you a lot of flexibility. You can either front load those two extensions with a bunch of bonuses to eat into that cap space that you have, because normally when you extend players, you actually create more cap space for yourself because you can turn some bonuses into the future, allowing you to sign other players now. But if you have $16 million cap space and don't feel like you need to make more moves, well, then you can just front load some of those bonuses, eat into the cap space you have this year so you can have more cap space in the future. The flexibility is just endless, and whatever way Chris Grier in this front office wants to construct these possible extensions is fine by me, but you need to get them done. You need to get two of your better young pieces in Tua and Jevon Holland at important positions as well, locked up for the foreseeable future. More to talk about here in just a second, but make sure you are getting this Dolphins t-shirt combo. It is $25 off. Yes, you heard that correctly. $25 off these two sweet shirts, orange, aqua. What else can you ask for? Jatsports.com/Dolphins combo is the link. That will be in the description and comments of today's video. Don't waste any more time because the $25 off won't last forever. Get yours today. We're going to go back to the well here because I just don't know how many times I got to come out here and say it when we're talking about moves Miami can make. There's just simply no excuse to not sign Greg Van Roten. It really isn't close on offensive linemen available. The next best is maybe Mark Lewinsky of the New York Giants, and even though he's a decent run blocker, he is very bad in pass blocking coverage. And that's kind of the thing that stands out with Greg Van Roten, right? 77 pass blocking grade. That was among top 10 of interior offensive linemen last year. Didn't record any penalties and played in every single game for the Las Vegas Raiders last year, which is important because when you think of the offensive line Miami has, you think of a lot of people who are injury prone, right? Teron Armstead's injury prone. Isaiah Wynn is extremely injury prone as well. Not to mention just the fact that Greg Van Roten would be a mainstay on this offensive line. He'd also be the best right guard you have without a doubt. Robert Jones, Jack Driscoll, Liam Eichenberg, and Lester Cotton are the 4 guys that are going to be fighting for that right guard spot in training camp. But you would end that fight right away by signing Van Roten because he would be your starting guy without a question. Chris Grier, let's do it, man. You have the cap space. I get it. You want to maybe keep some flexibility for extensions, or if an injury occurs during training camp where you would have to make a trade or sign a free agent there. But I don't think Greg Van Roten would be expensive. I don't think he would. I think it would cost you the vet min, $4 million at most, maybe. Think about what you got Marcus May and Calais Campbell for. Van Roten's a good player, but he's not earning that much more than them. So to me, get it done, shore up this offensive line as best as possible, and let's go into training camp with a roster that I believe can seriously compete for an NFL title. If the Dolphins do make a move, whether it be a signing of Carl Lawson, Greg Van Roten, my Twitter will be the first place you see the news. So follow me at Nic_Rohloff, and then we would come over here and make a video on Dolphins Today. So follow me over on Twitter. I'll see you with a video tomorrow. Go Fins.